really great way to start off this afternoon, and with a fanfare. Welcome to the National World War I Memorial. My name is Yuri Villanueva. I am the president of the Doughboy Foundation, and today we are here commemorating the Wreaths across America. Right now at Arlington National Cemetery, it's like 250,000 folks out there who are putting wreaths on over 350,000 graves today. And we're going to be celebrating their mission, which is to remember the fallen and to honor those that serve and their families, and to teach the next generation the value of freedom. Now, we ask to start the event that you will all join me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, and those missing in action, and honor those who have served and those who are serving this great nation's armed services. Thank you. We ask you at this time for you to please rise as our group of trumpeters perform our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to thank our trumpeters and buglers, Laurie Crandall, David McNamara, Bob Ballmer, Kevin Paul, Chris Watkins, and Sean Walsh for the excellent performance of our national anthem. Thanks. So thank you for joining us here today. And this year across the country at more than hundreds of participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans who are gathering as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are all proud to be Americans who live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. And the freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. In the cemeteries throughout our nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom and without fear. We can worship as we see fit. We can raise our children to believe as we do. We are free to vote for the leaders of our choosing, and we have the right to succeed, and we have the right to fail at whatever endeavor we wish to pursue. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shining beacon of liberty and freedom to the world, and we thank those who gave their lives to keep us free, and we shall not forget them. We shall always remember. And if you get a chance to visit the Fountain of Peace on the other side, there's a wonderful poem by Archibald MacLeish that ends in the words that we are dead, remember us. Now today, more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and the active duty service members who have had and continue to fight to protect our country. The nation has always been the first to stand up for freedom for people around the world, and many of us here today have answered the call and have served the country, and to that we say thank you. Now, what's interesting about Wreaths Across America is that I actually was able to see the genesis of this this whole program. When I was on active duty back in the early 90s, I recalled seeing wreaths starting to appear at Arlington National Cemetery. It turned out that the founder of Wreaths Across America, Merle Worcester, he is up in Maine, and he had a surplus of Christmas wreaths. And so he had contacted Arlington National Cemetery to say, I have all these wreaths, and I'd love to come down and put them on the graves of the military. And for years, there was always this pushback saying, yes, thanks, but no thanks. But Mara was quite persistent. And finally, in 1992, they acquiesced, and they said, okay, we'll let you put some wreaths in one particular section. The section that they chose was section 27, which is one of the oldest sections in Arlington. It is the section where the first burials took place during the Civil War. And that section is located on a hill just about a quarter mile from the Arlington house. And it had snowed that year, and someone took a photo of all the wreaths in the snow against the graves, and that picture went viral. And everyone wanted to know more about this wreaths and how this was happening. And all of a sudden, here we are, many years later. Last year, over 3 million wreaths were put in. At Arlington today, or at Arlington last year, I'm sure it's going to be the same this year, they had 68 tractors that came in to cover the 360,000 graves. Truck drivers from all over the country have volunteered their time. Last year there were 717 loads of wreaths that were delivered by volunteer drivers. So we have been very fortunate with the Doughboy Foundation to partner up with them, and they're one of the partners that we have that are so important with relationships that we hope to build on. Of course, one of our great partners here is the National Park Service, the National Trust for the National Mall, the DAR, the Military Order of World Wars, Gold Star Mothers. We've had some terrific relationships with folks from different embassies. And we're also planning a very special movie night in June, showing some terrific World War I movies. So it is really great to be able to do these wreaths. And wreaths, of course, have had a great tradition with them. The idea of wreaths goes back, centuries, back to the ancient times of the Romans, when wreaths were given as like awards at the Olympics. You wore it around your head, of course. The tradition of wreaths emphasized strength and eternity. During the Middle Ages, wreaths became associated with Christmas. And as you'll notice with about all wreaths, they're all in a circle, which, indicates and represents the circle of life. Not only for memorials, but also wreaths, but also in celebrations, wreaths are given out. So today, what we'd like to do is to present these wreaths that were sent by Wreaths Across America, honoring each one of the service branches. And we do have some volunteers who will help as we bring them forward. After we bring them all forward, we're going to have taps to end our program. We'll start with we want to show our gratitude and respect, and start with the United States Army, and Bob Mulaney will come forward. Do we have anyone here from the Marines? Any Marine veterans? No? Anybody, family members of Marines? No? Would you like to come and take the Marines?
I would love to.
Who just came by a little while ago. I was kind of hoping they'd come back. also, before I forget, I do want to thank another organization that we're partnered with, and that is the Taps for Veterans. Several of the buglers who are performing today are members of this organization. It's a volunteer organization that goes out and provides taps at military funerals where there's not a military bugler available. And instead of using a recording, we like to try and have a live performer. So we'd like to thank them, and also remind you that on Memorial Day at 3 p.m., the Taps for Veterans sponsors a program called Taps Across America. Almost like the Wreaths Across America, on Memorial Day at 3 o'clock. The past 5 years, we've had 10,000 volunteers all over the country at 3 p.m. pause for a moment of silence and then sound taps on that day. So we'd like to have this program end with taps, and what you'll hear today is what we call our cascading taps. We'll have taps first performed here, and then you'll hear it go around in a circle, sort of stereophonically. So I do appreciate everyone coming today, and we'll be here. We'll leave the wreaths up for photographs all afternoon, and we thank you for coming. So at this time, please rise for taps.